Come one, come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come one, come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Give praises to Jehovah, from whom all blessing and knowledge will flow. Blessing and knowledge will flow. The Village Talk Show, dedicating to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life, helping each one. Come one, come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come one, come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Give praises to Jehovah, from whom all blessing and knowledge will flow. Blessing and knowledge will flow. The Village Talk Show, dedicating to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life, helping each one of us in realizing our dream at any age, any point, starting from today, day. Success. Come one, come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come one, come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Success is not spoken, it is done. Success is done. Come on now. The Village Talk Show. Talk Show. The Village Talk Show.
Thank you for joining us right here on the on our Facebook page. So just answer all those people call. That's I got you. So like, to answer them, tell them, give them a call in number, tell them talk about whatever they want to talk about on the air. So give them a call in number. So I'm just really excited to be here. We're dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life through education, helping each one of us to achieve our dreams. I can't believe I actually forgot the word. So helping each one of us. What's going on with me? I've slow brain today, Andre. Yeah. Let me go back. So I don't want to screw this up. So helping each one of us in realizing our dreams at any age, any point, starting from today, where success is not just spoken, it is done. Today is, as John calls it, Freestyle Thursday. Freestyle Thursday, according to John. And there's so much things that we want to talk about. Not to go through it. There are a number of people who asked for the phone number. So just check my WhatsApp and see who, Andre. Just check my WhatsApp, see through it. And then the number of people there, just give them the phone number to call in. All right. So, John, tell us about your week. Oh, John, you screwed up last week.
Why did I screw up?
I'm going to tell you exactly why you screwed up. Last week, our producer had a birthday on Saturday.
I called and I wish didn't we do a happy birthday?
No, we did not do a happy birthday on air.
Oh.
Right?
To the producer extraordinaire, Miss Sophia, I want to wish you a happy and healthy birthday. I apologize that I didn't do it last week, but please forgive me. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
All right, Roger.
No?
Happy birthday, Sophia.
All right, Sophia. And yeah, it's all John's fault why I forgot. I'm completely blaming him. It has nothing to do with me. But like I said, everyone, today is Freestyle Friday, right? Thursday. See, I even got the days. Make sure you call in. 718-841-9980. Oh, first call. Thank you so much for. Hold on. Let's see who the first call is. Caller, you're live.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, doctor. How are you?
Who's that? Is that Dr. Bryant?
Dr. Bryant.
Hi. I wanted to actually wish our wonderful producer. Yes. Hi.
Are you wishing why are you not here?
Producer Sophia. I'm getting my hair done.
Why you left me alone?
You're not alone. You lied to me. You have my listen.
Yeah, I'm listening.
You have one of the best next to you. So why are you messing with me?
Andre's not talking in the ear. Oh, you're not talking about Andre. You're talking about John.
Andre. You have John.
Shit, y'all.
Again, Chemo Christmas, John.
I apologize.
Yeah. Right. So
you got jokes.
Yeah. Yo, John, she's doing up herself.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she can't be on air.
She got a hot date.
She has a hot date.
Yes, I do. I do have a hot date.
She has a hot date.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen of the village, Dr. Bryant has a hot date.
Yep, she's getting her hair. What is it called? She's getting her hair done. Did right?
What's his name, Dr. Bryant?
What's his name?
His name tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, tomorrow. His name is Tomorrow.
Well, I've heard of Saturday, Friday, and Monday, but I've never heard of tomorrow. Yeah. So his name is Tomorrow. All right. Tomorrow what? So tomorrow's going to be a lucky guy.
Yes. Tomorrow is a big day for my family. A big
all right.
day
So
for
tomorrow's going to be very happy.
Tomorrow will be very happy.
When is he going to be happy?
Tomorrow.
Why is he going to? So tomorrow's going to be happy tomorrow. Okay.
Tomorrow is fun.
Tomorrow, ladies. Okay, a couple of things. Do some public on Saturday. What is it? Saturday on the October 21st is going to be on Saturday is going to be a school giveaway. Let me see. Oh my goodness, I forgot the location. For District 17. But if you live in District 17 in Brooklyn, just call them up. There's going to be a school thing tomorrow, as well as I know that is another initiative. I believe it's going to be at Patagate Park. If you want to come out, get a book bag and school supplies for your community, do come to that and make sure that you enjoy yourself. Dr. Bryant.
Yes, I'll try to get on if I finish early. But shout out to our wonderful producer, Sophia, who worked so hard. So I thank her. God bless you all. Peace.
You know, I appreciate that. Listen, there's
Yes, sir.
not you, right? So again, John and I need company, right? So it really is Freestyle Friday. You could follow
Freestyle Thursday.
Thursday. I don't know why I keep. You know what happened?
Not tomorrow.
You know what?
It is today.
Right.
Good
Right. It's
night,
not
guys.
tomorrow. It's not
Bye.
tomorrow, right? Yeah, it's today. So today, Freestyle Thursday, we do need your help out there. So call in, text in on Facebook, whatever the case is. Hey Charles, I see how you doing.
Where's Angie at? Angie, where you at? Why you not calling in, Angie?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Angie, my
afternoon.
favorite social worker.
Welcome
Why
to
you
the
not calling
village.
in, Angie? Oh, I seen one of your.
Hello, welcome to the village.
Rudy, how are you?
I'm doing well. Who's calling?
Jazz.
I can't hear you. The voice is mumbling on the phone.
Jazz.
Oh, what's going on? How's my domino partner going?
I'm good.
Yo,
Kumbaya.
kumbaya, man. You see Jazzy T right here on the phone?
Yeah.
Jazzy T is one of the best female. Well, she's one of the best female domino players in the world. And not only that, but she's one of the best players in the world. You put your money down, she's taking it. You put it down, you catch her up, she's winning. So what's going on? How you doing?
Stop trying to butter me up.
I'm not butting. It's the truth. I know I'm not playing against you. Don't you notice how I was run from you? I'm not getting my butt beaten by you, right? And also, she's a DJ, right? So she's DJ Chocolate, DJ Chocolate.
DJ Chocolate in the house.
Yeah, So what's I'm all right. What's on your mind? Huh?
I'm good. I'm saying hello to the co-host. I'm digging up the co-host.
Oh, okay. Oh, John. Yeah. John deserves it, but John is afraid of you too because he can't play no dominoes at all. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm blessed.
Your first time caller, I think, right? This is your first time calling it? Second time calling? I appreciate that. Thanks for listening. So is there anything on your mind? Are you going to Atlanta for the dominoes?
Orlando, yes.
No, Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta?
Yeah, remember in October next week, in 2 weeks.
No. I went last year. It was loads of fun, but I can't commit to it this year.
Yeah. By the way, just for the record, I want to let you know that we're going to do a tournament in Texas, right? March 6th.
Heard you put it on.
Huh?
So I think I saw you in one of the little groups that you were promoting it.
Yeah, so
cool.
we're gonna do random mental, team mental, and open code peer and a mixed peer.
Good.
So we're gonna do all of those things. So the Domino Association and dailydominoes.com we're putting that together for all of you guys to come and enjoy. So it's the launching of some of the things that we're doing as a domino club and the domino initiative. And John said he might come. I might actually convince him to come to Texas. He said he's never been to Texas.
It's gonna be beautiful. Bring John all down. Bring John down.
I am not going down to Texas with that governor down there.
What's his name again? What's his name? You're not an immigrant, John. You're not gonna become a migrant back to New York on a bus.
I'm not going to patronize Texas because of that governor.
Well,
same thing for Florida. I will not patronize Florida.
You think DeSantis is gonna win? A big Charlie Crist? Anyway, yeah. I'm sorry, Jasmine. So what's going on? Is there anything you want to talk about? I was asking you that.
I've been showing you some love, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
I appreciate
we love
that.
you, and we support you, and
All right, I appreciate that. We love you and support you too. Just keep going. DJ Chocolate. What's your Instagram handle? Tell us your Instagram.
DJ Chocolate NYC.
DJ Chocolate NYC. So make sure you link into. When is your next event? Do you have an event coming up so people can come to?
Supposed to be this weekend. I'm actually the resident DJ at a club in Williamsburg. It's called Republic Latin Fusion. It's a really nice up and coming spot. In the heart of Williamsburg. So
where tell us the address if we can show.
181 North 10th Street,
181 North 10. What and the name of the club
Yeah.
again is?
Republic Latin Fusion. Check them out on Instagram.
Okay. DJ Chocolate
They're really
NYC. Check her out on
Yeah.
Saturday. Saturday? Hopefully I could
Saturday.
on my way back from Philly. Hopefully I
be
can make it. We have a match in Philly. A mental match.
Oh, okay, cool. All
So-
right, cool. Sounds good.
So after that, maybe if I can pop in, I'll pop in. See what's going on. But you're there every Saturday, right?
Every Saturday, yeah.
Why don't you put it in the group so people can come out and support?
Yeah.
All right, appreciate that.
It's a different vibe, It's a different vibe. It's a different outlook, not the usual that we're accustomed to,
That's all right.
Everyone's definitely involved.
Sometimes we need to leave our what's it called? Our
Leave it
safe
up, right?
zone, our safe zone,
Yeah.
our comfort
Safety
zone,
net.
our comfort.
Comfort zone, safety net.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
do that. So let's
Absolutely.
do that. All right. So we'll talk.
I appreciate that.
And I
All right, my
appreciate
brother.
you.
Take it
All right,
easy.
take care. Take care,
All
Jasmine.
right, John. Have a good one.
All right, bless up, bless up.
She can play some dominoes, dog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Right,
she
so
can.
she can whip you behind.
Yes, she can. I will admit to tell you, she could beat my patootie. All right, she's like that Guyanese parent. On my patukas. What was that?
Caller. Caller, you're live.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
I was just calling in to say hi to Rudy and John and thank them for the work that they're doing.
But who's calling?
This is Rose October.
Oh, the dancer. All right. What's going on, dancer? Kumbaya, man. By the way, Dr. Rose October is, ladies and gentlemen, the Guyanese Cultural Association, which I'm so proud to have been one of the persons who are I wouldn't say the onset, but when they were building, work together to do a lot of events. So I'm so proud.
You've been there until earlier days, and we're thankful for that. Forever thankful.
Oh yeah, you listen, because of you guys, everybody think I'm Guyanese, and I love that. I love being, huh?
You Chinese.
You have no idea. I love, but the problem is every time we're supposed to go to Guyana, I never make it. Right. So I want to know when we're going to Guyana, Rose. Let's put it on the air. When are we going?
Well, I don't want you to show up yourself like that.
Oh no, I'm not coming. I'm saying when are we? Did you hear what I said? When are we going?
Yeah, I am going to save you here, Rudy, and say let's plan off air, because I don't want you to air your laundry that that we will agree for X date, and then when the date comes up, something else takes precedence. How about that? So I'm going to save you this right now.
All right. I hear you. I hear. So what's going on with the Guyana? What's going on with you, first of all? How you doing? What's going on with you? Tell us where you are. You're now you've been a doctor for a few years. So tell us, you're a teacher. Talk to us. Tell us a little bit.
Well, the thing is, I taught at SUNY Empire State College for 11 and a half years, and then decided that I wanted to change, to go back into social services, because my bachelor and master degrees are in social work, and my PhD is in behavioral studies. So I switched in December to go back to social services, but it didn't work. The agency that I went to work for just didn't work out for me. It was not a good fit. There was no way I would have been able to last much longer than the 5.5 months that I stayed with them. So I'm in between jobs, hunting, but all good, because my mental health is important. And
Yeah, absolutely. You know Rose?
Rose, what's going on, Rose?
Rose October Eden from Guyana Cultural Association. That's
Yeah,
John.
Definitely. I know Rose.
I know you know Rose.
Of course.
Huh?
Of course. I'm good, John. I'm good.
So you were telling us,
I just-
what you're doing.
No, I was just saying, my mental health is important. And I know that many individuals stay in a place that is unhealthy for them in a work environment because of fear. And I didn't let fear of not having a job really hold me back, especially when I know my worth,
Right.
You
I
know,
made that decision.
that's a very important conversation, because knowing your worth, knowing your value is so important. Like, a lot of people don't know their worth, John. They settle for almost anything if they don't, because they don't know their value. So that's a very good point, knowing your worth, and the mental health. We talk about that a lot.
No, mental health is just such a key component, and we thought it was just such a taboo to even talk about it when we were growing up.
Yep.
And it's so prevalent in our communities, and this is something that we really need to discuss.
I don't know, especially within our culture, right? Especially within our culture, meaning Caribbean culture, it's almost taboo to to talk about how you're doing with your health, right? Because as we always talk about, as we talk about anything, or anyone, you talk too much, you need to be private. That's not anybody's business. You get that.
That's supposed to be family business. You don't take it out of the house.
Yes. And why?
The one thing though that I'm hoping that with how the internet and World Wide Web has penetrated the Caribbean and other parts of the world, and the way that our Caribbean folks like to imitate everything and anything coming from the U.S., I'm hoping that some of that copycatting will be applied to how mental illness is viewed, differently, and really there is the embrace that nothing is wrong with admitting or seeking assistance for mental illness. And we talk about mental health. Mental health is when, everything is kind of sort of going well, and your mental state is healthy. The mental illness piece is when there is something wrong. And in so many different ways, I think any of us may be dealing with some mental illness, even if it's a mild depression, mild anxiety, or anything that is mild. It's our mental health that is at risk. And I think we cannot talk about physical health without talking about mental health. You can be physically okay and you have a mental illness and you say that you're fine. One of the things that we like to do when people ask us how you're doing, what's the first thing we say? I'm fine, I'm good. And sometimes we're not fine, we're not good, and it's in prolonged conversation that began with someone saying, I'm good, then it comes out that person is not fine.
Right.
Good. Matter of how we've been
and sometimes, even going further, right? Even going further, we don't address it, and it develops. I'm seeing more and more people who have mental health issues. Rose, Dr. October, and John, that you see the negative evolution of the mental dysfunction, right? Whatever it is,
breakdown.
And it because it's not addressed from the onset. And I also find the other thing that people don't understand is, if you don't address the mental health issue, you might have somebody who goes to being extremely violent, right? Or the opposite, right? Or it can also be like people think, okay, I'm gonna be, but it could sit there and take abuse. Right. So it can go, they can become the abuser, or, for lack of a better word, the abusee, right? And because we don't address health, and it's funny, because somebody on my Facebook page wrote something, and one of the connection was, thank you for having strong self-esteem. Right. Poor self-esteem, to me, and we don't address that, but it's also part of mental health. Right. Not,
definitely.
But people, it's just a person has low no, you can't just say somebody has low self-esteem. Low self-esteem is part of poor mental health. Right. So, those, and then you become, like I said, you become the abuser or the abusee. Right.
Yeah.
It's, and
You
it's,
know, and
yeah,
go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, I'm listening. Now, I was just gonna say that sometimes we see things growing up as children,
Right.
and we develop these things mentally, and then we get, because we don't get help,
Mhm.
we begin to think that it's the norm,
Yeah,
and then we start doing the negative things.
We start doing the negative things, but then certain things trigger that onslaught, or trigger that reaction. So you got to figure out what are your triggers too. So that's why
Yeah.
it's really good to just have an opportunity to talk to people about your feelings and your thoughts, because we experience it. We may have something very similar.
I'm listening to what we're talking about here really keenly, and I'm thinking about, in some ways, a generational curse, because it's not addressed from one generation to the next, and this stuff is passed down. And I got to thinking about those situations that we read about in the news, or we hear about in the news, when a mother sits with her child,
Right.
Who has mental illness, and the mother, or the parent, let me just say parents and not just stereotype women as mothers, but the parent or the caregiver sits with that child, who that caregiver knows needs mental intervention, and nothing happens, and then it gets to the other side, like we're talking about, right? The child becomes violent, and then what do? They call 911, and what ends up happening in some situations? Bad things, right? The cops who are not prepared to deal with mental illness, they might pull a gun. The child, the adult child, or whomever the child is, the family member who is suffering with a mental illness, might feel threatened and do something in self-defense, really, or because he or she is scared. And what happens? It ends up being a case in the news.
Right.
Yep.
And all
Absolutely.
of that is part of what we're talking about, not being able to not being educated, really, not being educated about the importance of getting help. And I would say to friends, family, clients all the time, nothing is wrong with seeking help for mental illness.
That's
Nothing is wrong with it. The same way you would go to a doctor because you have a broken toe, your stomach hurts, or something like that.
I would actually change that to say from nothing is wrong with mental illness to nothing is wrong with addressing mental illness.
No.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. That too.
So yeah, and that's true. Eastern Parkway, Utica Avenue, is named after one of my former students. We talk about this gentleman. He was killed by police early in December.
Yeah.
And he had a mental illness, right? He did. And the police literally shot him and killed him. He had a knife, but like you said, not addressing that mental illness and what's going on with that.
Yeah. That's real. That's so real. That's so real. And especially, we got to call this out for what it is in our Black and Brown communities.
Yeah.
Especially in our Black and Brown communities, we have to be able to let our inhibitions go and really elevate our education when it comes to mental health, in understanding that care is available, and seeking care is not a weakness, is actually a strength.
Yeah, and working through it is it's okay, right? It is okay
working through it and not over it, because a lot of folks talk about getting over stuff. You can't get over stuff like that. You have to get through it. In other words, you have to work through it, because sometimes we use words and we don't pay attention to the impact of the word. So for me, in clinical settings, when individuals talk about working over stuff, I really slow the roll and say, we can't talk about working over stuff. If you're working over stuff, then it's a subliminal message that you're not ready to work through it. You have to work through it so that you can get to the other side. You can't just talk about working over.
Yeah.
Then you're trying to get over you're trying to pass it over in some way, get over the hump, or you're not seeing it as serious as it should be. We also got to pay attention to the kind of language that we use when we talk about mental illness.
Yeah, I one of the things that that I observe when you talk about mental illness is death by suicide and harm, right? Because
Mm.
people
Yeah.
don't want to address mental illness, and accidents and suicides are one. They usually fluctuate between 1 and 2
Right.
that
Mhm.
kill adolescent and young people, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
Yep.
so well, that's one of the issues that people might have, right?
Mhm.
We'll see what's
Mhm.
going on.
Yeah. And when we talk suicide too, death by suicide, we have to many times the the signs are there, but they're ignored
Right. True.
many
True.
times, and it's after the death by suicide occurs that the individuals who share the space with the person who is now dead would would reflect and say, "Oh, and she said this, and he did that, and I should have paid attention." And this whole guilt trip, is forever there for them. But again, I would bring to the fore education. We need to be seeking any kind of education we could get regarding mental illness, and especially if you have young ones, if you have adolescents within your care, you have to be consistently looking for ways in which you can enhance your knowledge about any and everything that's related to mental health because of the pressures that adolescents and young adults are going through. I mean, we have children who are single digit years attempting suicide, for crying out loud. And part of this has to do with the fact that there is the exposure to World Wide Web. You could Google anything,
That's true.
including how to kill yourself.
That's 100%
So,
certain. And I see even what was that guy that killed himself the other day last week that jumped off the roof.
Well, not even that. Just a
Mm.
couple of days ago, a
Mhm.
police officer just jumped off the
Mm.
not the track, the not the Whitestone, the Throgs Neck Bridge,
Mm,
which I think was just Monday.
Mhm.
And it is real. The stresses of life, the
Yeah.
and the mental anguish that people go through for many different reasons and for incidents and that happened in their lives, and it's no longer a taboo, villagers. It's about if you need help or if you need somebody to talk to, you got to reach out and talk to them
But then
because
the flip side to that, though, John,
uh-huh,
is reaching out is one thing,
right,
but if the space is not safe for the person to speak,
okay,
then we get all of that stuff penting up.
yeah,
And folks figure that, nobody will understand or they don't listen. There's been situations where the individuals who attempt suicide have made so many efforts
mm,
to talk with somebody, and most times they got shut down. Oh, you really don't want to do that. Why are you talking stupidness? Oh, you're smarter than that. These are some things that people hear who are at the verge of attempting suicide or who've attempted a few times, before they're being taken seriously.
right, right,
And it's really allowing for that space
mm,
for for individuals who are reaching out to be given that space to be listened to as opposed to just shutting down. You're too smart for that. Oh no, you would never do that kind of stuff. Think about it. Think about the brilliant people who we know who have died because of suicide, due to suicide. Think about it. And I'm sure if we were to take a poll and ask people about, ask individuals who's known someone who died as a result of suicide and know that person intimately, they would say, you know what, yeah, there were some things that were said that should not have been said, and there are certain things that were said that should have been taken seriously that were not taken seriously. So we all have a part to play, and that's why, you know, sometimes a smile wouldn't hurt when we see strangers in the street, because you never know, somebody might be going through stuff and they might feel as though, you know, nobody cares about me, nobody smile at me, nobody talks to me, and maybe just getting a smile from a stranger could brighten that person's day and make them feel within their mental illness that, oh shoot, at least things are not that bad. That guy just smiled at me, or that woman just smiled at me, or somebody just helped me, a stranger just helped me. You never know, we might be saving a life by doing those little simple things in life for each other.
And like you said, keeping it is sort of like a safe environment in which they can convey their issues or problems, and they, you know, a lot of people just make sure they want the secrecy with respect to that, someone who they can talk to, but respect their privacy, and in ways help them deal with these issues, because we think it's only us, or if it happens at the time, you only think you're the only ones just going through or what you're going through and dealing with what you're going through. But there's a lot of people going through the same way, and sometimes it's better to communicate in a safe environment, talk to them, and you can work things out. You can
Definitely
try to put your best foot forward and just deal with it. Sometimes it's, you know what, sometimes it's difficult to deal with issues and deal with problems that you have. You just want to push them down the road, but sometimes you just got to be engaging, just deal with it. And at the end of the day, you know, it's always about just being true to yourself. Being true to yourself, because if you continue to lie to yourself, the lies become what you think the truth. And then you're just living in a world of imagination, and you just get
you know,
lost.
I got to bring up the vicious cycle again based on what you said there just now, John, because, and I want to speak directly to caregivers of children. There is a segment, and I don't want to say everybody, right? There's a segment of the caregiving population that feels that I buy my child everything they don't want for anything.
Right.
Why would they want to commit suicide? I can't tell you how many times I've heard that in counseling sessions by parents who are now angry with the child that they're discovering that the child attempted suicide so many times, right? Or the child is a cutter.
Right.
And the child is cutting because of the discomfort in the home or whatever is going on. You know, having money and buying your children all of these gifts or these things, or like one of my friends would say, stuff, does not get rid of the mental strain that the child is experiencing in the home.
Right, correct.
And many caregivers buy these things, give the children material things as a way of pacifying self. Oh, I can't be a bad mother, or I can't be a bad father, or I can't be a bad whomever. It's more of self-pacification and not so much looking at whatever is happening in that environment that's negatively affecting that child. You just need to stop. This buying of the stuff is not going to rectify the mental illness that children experience in the home, or even adults. For adults who are in abusive relations, that's pushing them over the edge. You know, you might have a partner who's giving you everything, or seemingly everything, right? But what you really want, whether it's the love, the attention, and the other things are not there, it doesn't make it right. You know, buying all of these things, the material stuff, it's really, it's going to go to a point, and then what? If that person really intends to take his or her life by means of suicide, it's going to happen.
Rose, you're gonna get I'm sending you a message. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
You're on the air. I'm sending you a message now.
Okay.
What happened is I'm sending back out to a couple of my folks because it was a misunderstanding when I said I need help people thought I was home. And
Oh, right. Yeah.
You
So-
need help. We know you need help.
yeah, I know I need help.
Definitely need help.
So a couple people are calling me, thinking that
Something is wrong.
something is wrong. No, I'm okay, people. I'm okay. I just,
I'm good.
Right.
Good.
you know.
But it was nice checking in with you guys, man.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you very
it's
much,
good.
as
Listen,
always.
and by the way, it was awesome seeing you the other day. I hadn't seen you in a long time, so it was good.
I know.
It was good seeing you
Likewise.
and talking to you. And you know what? We do need to have you on. We do need to have you on one day because the social emotional needs. It's funny because I was actually in a meeting last night, and in the meeting, there was an argument about. Not an argument. Hold on. I'm sorry. Please hold. Caller, you're live. Please hold. Caller.
Hello.
Yeah, please hold. All right. So there was a conversation about what's the difference in education and youth committees, and I'm like, because one is about social. I'm like, if you don't have the social component of schools, children cannot be educated. And
Don't
people
get me started.
Yeah,
Don't get me started.
We're gonna
on
get
that.
you on, Andre. Rose October Eden, one of our guests. We're gonna see if we can get her on to talk about the social component. Rose, Dr.
Rose, thank you
October, I
very
want to
much.
thank you so much for calling in, and thank you for listening to
You're
the call and
welcome.
calling in. I
My
appreciate
pleasure.
that so much. All
Yes,
right,
yes,
God bless.
My pleasure. All
Uh-huh.
right. Have a pleasant night.
You too. Caller, you're live.
Hello.
Yes. Good afternoon, caller.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hey, what's going on? What's on your mind?
Hmm.
Should I say Mrs. Smith or should I say Miss Smith? Which one? Miss Brett. Which one should I say?
Fine.
Which I don't know. You got to tell me. John got to know how to address you. John, you want to ask her?
It's fine.
This
It's fine.
is one of my very good friends. So what's on your mind? What do you want to talk about? How you doing, by the way?
I am doing well. Thank you.
Is this your first time calling?
No, it's not.
It's not your first time calling in? Okay. All right. But you haven't called in a long time. All right?
Yeah.
So tell us tell John and I what's on your mind. What do you want to talk about?
That young man, I don't know all the details about that young man in Florida. That
Uh-huh.
12-year
12-year-old.
that trashed his mother's house because he took away his cell phone.
Oh, so are you talking about him? Or are you talking about the overall behavior of young people nowadays, the entitlement
Yeah.
component?
She's talking about him, but
Right.
also the overall behavior. I would have, man. I can't even imagine. I can't
Yeah.
even imagine just dealing with a situation like that.
I think I'll sell somewhere because
Well, I'm sorry. Say that again, Sharon. What did you say?
I think I'll be in a jail cell somewhere though, because the mere fact he doesn't pay his phone bill, and there must be a reason why his mother took that phone from him, and to trash the place the way how she did, and then all she did was she cried and she took the video. I would not be doing that. I wouldn't say what I'd be doing because they would come. No, but I would not be doing that.
Well, you know what? I think before we even talk about that, Smith, is, let's look at this young man and what triggered this young man to behave the way he behaved because of the cell phone that was just taken away from him. Is there something more to it?
It has to be.
Yeah, then, and that's what you have to think. The taking away of a cell phone triggered him to that extent where he trashed the home,
Right.
or what else was
There's some
what
line
else
is
underlying?
going on.
Were there any other underlying issues that concerned him or that triggered him? So it's important to find out what the triggers are to destroy your parents' home because your mother took away your cell phone.
Yeah.
Because I see some kids at some point in time that they can get really violent and obviously tear their room up or just throw things around. But there's something deeper
Call Miss Smith. This whole
that we have to really look at Miss Smith.
Caller, you live. Please hold.
So they
Caller, please hold.
But Miss Smith, you're right. There's something just deeper there that
Yes. And
You know, the previous caller called, right? And Dr. October, we're talking about mental health, right? And one of the things I often explained in my classroom, right, was that for me, it might be food. For you, it might be not getting a seat. You know, kids actually go through tantrums because you're sitting in their seat and you're like, it's not your seat, but they don't own anything, and that's the only thing they think that they own, and they get so. Like you're asking John and Miss and Sharon, what are the triggers, right? What are the triggers that's affecting that child? What is the mental health situation? What social emotional need does that child have that is not being addressed for you to behave that way? And it could also go back to the parent, right? The parent probably made the child feel that they're entitled to whatever they want.
Right.
So we have to ask all those questions.
Because we don't know if mom have ever identified a problem, but did nothing about it. Because I don't think this is his first encounter. You know, maybe he didn't do anything that drastic, but he have done something like that before.
But you know, Miss Smith, we don't know. Maybe he was being bullied at school, and his mother taking away the phone will just trigger it. You know,
that is true.
But you know, we look, Deidre says, you know, her husband, Deidre, my husband took away my daughter's phone once, and she wanted to fight him. You know, but you know something, it's that honestly, cell phones are a blessing, but also a curse.
Yes,
because
that is true.
Our children, you know, sometimes I look at, you know, my daughter, she gets in a car and she doesn't say anything. She'll just be on a cell phone.
Yeah.
From the time I pick
her
her up
beginning
to the
to
time
end.
from beginning to the end.
You know?
And barely looks up. And now they have these AirPods. They put them in the air. They don't even need to deal with you.
Exactly.
Well, okay. We have the next caller.
All right, hold on.
Miss Smith.
So thank you, Miss Smith.
Thank you, Miss Smith.
You are welcome.
Next caller, you're on the Village.
Hi, good afternoon. Hi, John. Hi, Roderick.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Who's calling?
I do. Empress.
Oh, hi, Empress Danielle. How you doing?
Oh, Lord.
John.
Kumbaya, man. Oh, get at John. Can you get at John first before you start what you want to talk about?
He's my favorite.
John is your favorite? You lying. I thought I was your favorite. You lied. Now you're lying. Okay.
Well, first favorite, but John is my favorite.
Oh, I got you. He's your favorite person to attack.
Your favorite person to beat up. That's what you mean.
So what's going on, Empress Danielle? How you doing? Well, Ija, how are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm just gonna piggyback right on the lady that just called just a while ago, just now, about the 16-year-old in Florida.
The 12-year-old, yeah.
No, she makes a video today. She says he's 16.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
He's
16?
Okay. I know. We're just looking at the clip and it said it was 12, but you said she was 20. Go ahead. All right. So the 16-year-old.
With this mental sickness of his for over 15 years now. So he has a mental problem.
Okay. Yeah.
See, never see smoke without fire.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. So she tried to get help for him, and I think he's on medication or something. I'm not sure about that. But the reason why I'm calling is because of our young men in our life, our kids, boys, especially. I don't think boys get the attention and the love they need when it comes on to mental sickness, or they even get the chance to be emotional or speak about it without we judging them and forcing them to grow up because they are men. And I'm not talking about this because of an opinion. I'm talking about this because I hear it all the time.
Right.
That you need to grow up. You're a boy. You need to man up. You know, you need to toughen up. Let me say it like what we didn't translate. We're going to toughen them up. You know, I think they need more attention better help, more father figure. Because some father live in the house and they're not even living in the house because they're not even helping. So I think men need to really take more, I put more attention in these boys. Mental health is always out of control. It's killing them slowly.
You know, Ija, one of the things that people don't understand, and you know, from a male perspective, right? Sometimes there's this pressure to say there's a man in that person's life, or might not be. What we also have to understand is that men don't have role models of other men. So they themselves might not know what to do. And it was the second thing that we talked about earlier that Dr. October spoke about. We don't get help. We're afraid to ask questions about what to do. So sometimes there's this tremendous pressure on a man. Most children, right? Most children deal with their mother.
Right.
I even notice it at my house. Sometimes I like go to your mother.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes when we put these pressure on men to be fathers, they don't know what to do as fathers. That's sometimes why they leave.
Right.
Right. So we have to do that. I heard it wasn't true. I heard the instruction was actually by an ex. The person who posted the narrative about it being a parent child was just posting as what if. It was in the news as a Jam Rock. But it's still, but you know what though? Even if that incident is not true, those situations do happen.
They do happen.
I mean, I heard there's a story, Ija, I don't know if I ever told this story, where the mother took the kid from Jamaica, and the kid went to a store here in Brooklyn on Church Avenue, right at the Church Avenue and what was it, Caldor? Was that was the name of the store at the corner?
Caldor.
Used to be Caldor, right? We could buy kids stuff and jeans and stuff. And she took him there, and when he got there, the kid was pissed off,
right? And
he told his mother through explicitives, right? Because he wanted name brand clothes,
name brand apparel,
name brand apparel. So I know that you were talking about something else, Ija, but I just want to say that this is not even if it's real or not real, it is a real life situation in people. But going back to your topic, sometimes the men don't know what to do, right? I'm glad that I grew up with a father, right? I grew up with a father for, the bulk of, okay. So all of my life, from a child to as old as I am, I've always had a father figure, right? So when I lived in Jamaica, I had Mas Charlie, right? Papa, we call him Papa. And, he was older, but he was still a male figure in the house, right? And I look to him and I see certain things that he did. And then now that I don't eat without giving my kids something to eat. That's something I learned from him. Right. He wasn't a talker, but he made sure that we all ate. So sometimes we have to say, what are the men doing?
Okay, this question is for John. I want John to answer this question.
Yes, my dear friend.
Okay.
And your favorite.
Yeah. Because my son and I were talking about this the other day, because we talk about this all. But I was in Canada with him, and my brother asked me this question. And the question they asked is, mother cannot teach a boy how to be a man. And if you don't have a father figure to teach you how to be a man, how do you learn how to be a man? That was the question that was asked.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I know John wants to answer, but look right here.
So that's a very interesting question.
She's also a school social worker. That's that answer.
I think you feel that there's things that a man needs to discuss with his son as opposed to a mother discussing those same issues with that son, because you feel there may be a differing of perspectives of ways in which to do things. I think that in order to teach someone to be a man, It's about the principles and the foundations that will be the basis of them becoming a man. So we would love to have the father there because we believe that the father can teach the son things that the mother cannot. But there are basic principles and foundations that once taught to a child, that child can develop into a man. So to get to the point, I think that yes, the father needs to be there in order to teach, or a father figure needs to be there. However, I think the next best substitute is that person's mother or someone. It doesn't have to be, it can be your grandparents who are willing to teach you the basic fundamentals and principles that develop you into to becoming a man. You know, it's no set rules or instructions. Sometimes it's just life in and of itself and the experiences that we go through life that teaches us how to be a man. But it's the principles and the foundations that can be taught by mother or father that once instill within that child, it will develop that child to becoming a man. So, Empress, I think father would be priority number one, but the best substitute would be the mother, or you have children who are orphans, who don't have parents, who may have a next of kin or uncle or aunt, or it might just be the community in and of itself. But it's those core principles and foundations that need to be taught at such an early age that helps that person develop into a man.
You know, Allison, who's also a social worker, wrote a couple of things. Let's also Jam Rock. Before I get to Allison,
Where you at, Angie? Why you not here tonight helping us?
Jamrock, our producer just pulled up something, said the mom wrote that the child was like Empress said, 15 years old, and he's 6 feet 270. So I guess she was afraid of him as well. So let's look at some of the comments that Allison wrote, right? So it kind of touched the points. The first one she wrote is all children need positive role models. And that's also related to both male and females. Two, she wrote, she's a social worker, a licensed social worker, and we have done some work together. Life doesn't come with instruction. It needs to be taught. She also reminds us that women don't always instinctively know what to do. We're forced to learn, especially when men don't step up. And I think that's something that you just addressed, Empress, as well. She also wrote that you can learn from the community, not just from your home, right? Well, I added not just from your home. And finally, she wrote, which is what we're talking about right here tonight, it takes a village. And that's what the Village Radio Talk Show is about. Like letting you know that, you know, and we always bring up the single parent university. Like for a lot of parents who are single parents, what do you do? Asking the right questions, Empress. What, you know, like you asked John, what do you do when you have a man who doesn't step up, or you don't have a man?
But you know, Empress, also sometimes you have young men who are involved in sports, clubs and things like that, coaches. Because I remember when I coached the Brooklyn Skyhawks, and there were quite a few young men who fathers were not involved in their lives, but they looked up to us as coaches, and through our coaching abilities, we were able to lay that basic foundation for them that assisted them to becoming men.
Thank you so much, man.
And thank you for calling in. I think that's a very important
Thank you.
Conversation around the role of men. Like we do have a real role in
Right.
relationships, and when a relationship both between what we teach in our kids, between a man and a woman, and what you teach your kids how to interact with each other and how to interact with adults.
Mhm.
So I think that those are some very good questions. Thank you, Allison, for a lot of your responses to that topic. And we're waiting on the next caller. So let's see who the next caller is going to be. and what we want to talk about. So again, it's Freestyle Thursday. John and I here by ourselves, and just call in whatever's on your mind. Do that. And a few things came up. I think today's world. Eloise is telling me that today is World Democracy Day. Can I suggest you speak on that? Okay. I don't know much about World Democracy Day. I don't know if you want to Google that. Tell us what that is. Is that democracy as in freedom, or democracy as in a Democrat? What is it, like a Republican versus Democrats? Is it? I'm assuming it's democracies and republics.
So what
Simply put, you hear me?
Yeah.
Simply put, it provides an opportunity to review the state of democracy in the world. That's really the main aspect of it, right? International Day of Democracy.
Okay. So I'm wondering who is on who's on those calls. Let's see. I see. Oh no, that's from before. All right. What does Charlene write? Charlene write, a father needs to be a father. A mother can only do so much. Most fathers leave the mother to do everything, even when the father is living at home. Yes, I know. I'm somewhat guilty of that as well, Charlene. So I don't know that I leave her to do everything, but I think she feels like sometimes I leave her to do everything, because and that does happen. And so, sometimes we just, because remember, we are taught that a woman is a nurturer, right? And they take care of the home. At least that's in my West Indian culture, Jamaica. And I don't know about yours, but so a man is like looked at as a disciplinarian, as a provider for their home, and try to make waves for their children to move forward, right? So I made a commitment that no matter what happens in my household, good or bad, or what might happen outside, I'm not leaving my household because of my children. Like, I want to make sure that they grow up with a father. Right. So that's kind of like something like I'm trying to teach them that you made a commitment and you stick to it. So, we try to do that. And thank God I've done that. Right. So I've done that commitment and try to remain there. Right. And I do know families who wait till the children are older, the mother and father wait for the children to be old when they get a better understanding, and then they separate. Right. And so, they go about their own ways and have their own lives. So you're right, Charlie. You're absolutely correct. Allison wrote facts. And a husband can be an extra child sometimes. Yes, he absolutely can be that extra child. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing for you. At least you learn, you do a better job of babysitting. All right. So there are a couple of topics out there that's happening around the world. I got some mixed reviews. I'm in a family group, John, and the family group is about Queen Elizabeth. And there's three of us are going at it. I have an English woman, right, who is from England. All of us are Black, obviously, because it's a family group. And so I want callers, that could be the next thing that you want to talk about, right? What is your thought process on Queen Elizabeth? She's lying in state. Would you go see her? Would you spit on her coffin? Right. Hold on.
3 miles.
Right. Would you do the 3 mile wait? Are you thankful for what she did, or you hate her and you say, hey, I don't care, whatever? Because I've seen both, right? I've seen from both ends of the spectrum. I saw a video from some guy in South Africa or Africa who said that because of colonialism, they have cheated Africa of golds and diamond, including the crown. And there's a young lady too in a video going around. So me personally, I think that the Queen is, one thing that I said in the group, I am Roderick Daly. You're John Thompson. You're not King John. I'm not King Roderick or Prince or dictator. I was not born into royalty. Neither were you. Well, I mean, when I'm talking about king. So some people are like, they're blaming her for her birthright. She was born as, now, as a matter of fact, she wasn't even supposed to be queen. Her uncle was king and abdicated the throne and gave it to her brother. I mean, to his brother, because I guess he went to go marry outside of a princess that was outside of the realm of his duty as king. And the brother took over as king, and then from there on, Queen Elizabeth became queen. But she didn't ask to be queen. And look at it, good or bad, there are no countries that are not independent under her. Since her reign, every country that was governed, I don't know if that's the right word, by England, right, has gained their freedom, right, or their independence. Let's not use the word freedom, right? What are your thoughts?
God bless her. As D.L. Hughley said, my condolences extend to the family, and the Queen will be judged by God our Father. And that's it. I mean, you hear these issues about people. It's the same, I don't know if it's the same thing, but you can think of the same thing. Wanting, the topic of reparations, meaning to having to pay for the sins of the ancestors or those paying for their sins. And why should I pay for their, some people saying, why should I pay for their sins when it wasn't me who was engaged in anything like that? It's like the queen, she became queen, as you indicated, but is she responsible for the monarchy being involved in the slave trade and all? I mean, it comes to the point in time, people just want to talk to just talk. The bottom line is, like anything else, when someone dies, we wish we wish their family condolences. We ask that, God keep their soul. God is the final jury and the judge. And that's where it should end. There's no need to continue a conversation about an issue that did the Queen actually direct that individuals become slaves or assist the existence of slavery or any sort of discrimination during her time. So, I mean, people just want to talk to just talk and find something to talk about. That's just my point of view.
Yeah, yeah, John. I mean, and also the hatred that they have. Why do you have it? What did she do? Right? I'm just simply saying. I'm just simply saying, like people are. For me, I just feel like you hate somebody. You have hatred just to hate.
Yeah. Correct.
And to me, that's a big deal, right? Yeah, John, I'm getting a lot of pushback, not on that, but I sent out the message wrong that I said I need help. So a lot of people
You definitely need help. We all need help. We need help because you're sick in the head. But yeah, he does not need help, ladies and gentlemen. Not need help. He needs some other sort of help, but not the help that he's looking for tonight.
Can you believe that the line was 3.1 miles?
I can, that's history,
I wonder how many hours that is.
But that's history, dude. That is history.
So what's the point?
It's history.
No, I have a question.
History.
I have a question. I went to James Davis's viewing,
right,
in 2003, right, August 2003. Caller, you're live.
Good, good night, Mr. Daly. How are you?
I'm doing well. Mr. Sampras, how
Just
you doing?
wanted, pretty good. Just wanted your take on bail reform. Is it good, bad, or
Mine or
should it
John's?
go
Let's start with John first.
yeah?
Do I think bail reform? I think bail reform that's used correctly can be helpful. The judges do need discretion, more discretion in looking at the overall picture of some of these individuals. This constant revolving door of people getting arrested, going in, and just coming out, and the problem is they are. Take for example the young man who shot the other kid in Kings Plaza a couple of months ago. He just got out on bail on a gun charge or assault. And then a couple of days later, he's shooting another kid in Kings Plaza. So we all can see the extreme cases. But overall,
What about
bail,
the person that killed Eleanor Bernard
Eleanor Bernard,
17 times?
17 times. So
Can I interject for a moment there?
go ahead.
But the way bail reform is right now, they're saying it's for misdemeanor. I mean, both of the incidents that both Mr. Daly and Mr. Sampson are talking about right now, those are felonies. But I mean, the new bail reform that's on the books is for minor misdemeanors.
No, when you talk about bail reform, I think the bail reform covers both misdemeanors and felonies. You can't just have a specific bail reform that just maybe I may be wrong that just specifically just deals with misdemeanor crimes. When a person, the whole purpose of bail is to ensure that the person comes back to court. Point blank, simple. But what we need to with these reforms is because basically the administration of the bails were different when it came to minorities. There was no standard or consistency. This is why bail reform was implemented. Certain type of crimes you shouldn't have bail. So the DA's office, was against it. It's the law, and this is what they practice now. I think their thing is the court should not only consider the crime that they individuals engaged into at the time in which they're being arrested, but look at the person's overall rap sheet. But most judges do that when it comes to sentencing because it's always brought out by the assistant district attorneys. They always bring those issues out, and at that point in time, the judge has to make a judgment call. The whole point is to reassure that this individual comes back to court, but it has taken on another meaning, and this is why we have such confusion when it comes to bail reform.
I'm a little bit more extreme than John when it comes to bail reform. I think that after a certain number of you get into the court, you need to extend people's time, right? Because it's kind of like raising a child, I feel, right? I could be wrong. John works in the prison industry with his job, so he might see things differently. I'm on the outside making the decision, right? Where he's on the inside, understand a little bit better. So I mean, I would give deference to him more, but from the outside, I compare it to a child. You let the child raise the spoiled brat. The child asks you for this, you give it to them. You ask for this, you give it to them. And then it expands. And when you get to the point where they ask you for something and you say no, they throw a tantrum. But if you start with the no's or saying no, not always, but saying no and not giving them everything they want, that they expect to do it, I feel like it's the same thing with a person who has committed a number of crimes. You go in, I let you go. I give you what you want. Oh, so you think that you can get away. And then 10 or, a certain amount of times, after a certain period of time, I think you need to increase the time spent.
Right.
And not keep saying, you know what, this is not a big deal. We don't have the space. Create the space and increase the time. Because I think like, I don't know what it was. John spoke about the teenager who just got off at Eleanor Bernard. 17 times the guy was arrested. I think there was another incident where the guy was arrested 10 times. So the guy was 11. Yeah, go ahead.
But at the same time, some of these arrests they shouldn't be arrests.
But I'm talking about the number of times.
But I can understand the number of times. Sometimes the number of times
John.
are they shouldn't have been arrested in the first place. And this is what happens. You can't look at the quantity. You have to look at the actual arrest and what these were arrests for. If you're talking about petty crimes and this, sometimes why are they continuously doing that? Are they homeless? What's going on with them? Are they provided the support, the help that they needed? Do they have a family nucleus? These are all things that need to be considered when you're looking at bail. When you're looking at bail, however, those people who are repeat offenders, don't
and John,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
May I interject? And it basically levels the playing field and gives, the minority people of color a playing field that that they didn't once have. The whites, they get misdemeanor, and this is all from the vantage point. But where I understand the new bill reform, it is only for misdemeanor crimes.
Okay.
And that's the way I've been doing some reading about it, and it's only for misdemeanor. Because there's way too many individuals in our prison system that, committed some petty stuff that don't need to be there.
Sometimes, I'm going to tell you, the broken windows, sometimes those petty crimes lead into bigger crimes. Some of these kids get away with, stealing from a grocery store, harassing a kid. Next thing you know, they're doing a bank robbery. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes these little things, like, if you get a cut on your arm, you keep picking at it, it gets infected. Sometimes you keep doing all these low-level crimes over and over again, then you might do the big crime. You know what I'm saying? So if you have an opportunity to stop them from the inception, stop them from the inception. And that's what I'm talking about. Of course, you should give them an opportunity. You shouldn't just throw them away, high bail or whatever it is. But I think one of the best forms of bail reform is the electorate. We fail to realize all politics is local. We're the ones who elect those judges that sit in criminal courts. We're the ones who elect them.
That is true.
We're the ones who elect them, and they sit in judgment. You know what I'm saying? And experience is the best teacher. Those who have grown up in the community have dealt with issues like that. They look at things differently. That's why it's always great for us to be at the table.
Right. And thank you for that, David, for bringing that up. I think, I have a lot of friends who are in the police force who despise bail reform because a lot of those repeat offenders, they're the ones who they keep getting rearrested and going to the homes, going to places, recognizing them and doing things with, and they give them work more than they have to. So thank you, David, for bringing that up. I appreciate that, and thank you for calling in.
Quite welcome.
All right. The bail reform issue is a big deal. Let's just read back some of these comments, and then we get back. So Celia wrote, when we were talking about the question about the dad, when the dad is not there, the child misses out on seeing and learning about reactions between sexes. Very good point. How do you interact with each other? That's also very, very important. The original man has several targets on his back. Pierce, Dr. Black Butterfly. Hey, Doc. No, it's Butterfly. I did ask her. Butterfly. You could go ahead and write out the pronunciation for John, because I said it's Butterfly. He says it's Butterfly. Family Fast loves exerting navigating the system is not easy. A nurturing man should be in the child's life. However, a caring, I guess it's missing a spell check there. A nurturing man should be in the child's life. However, a caring being should be there. I'm assuming that's what you're saying. A caring being matters too. Okay, I see it. Completion of thought. Uh, Caller wrote amen. That's referring to something that was said. Rest in peace. Do you know she lived in peace? And do you know she lived in peace and a monarchy wreaked havoc on the earth of the human family? Sending condolences to all those families who suffered irreparable damage under her rule. Okay, so I guess it's twofold. So I guess she's making a point that under her leadership, her monarchy, many people suffered. You know what people fail to understand, to John, that she was a figurehead, right? She was a figurehead. She was a figurehead when it came to leadership. England actually was the ruler, and she was a figurehead. Caller, you're live.
Yeah, I didn't call about the Queen. Good evening. How are you?
Oh, good.
Hey, Pastor, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. How are you feeling?
All right, Pastor Monrose.
How you doing? So what do you want to talk about, Pastor Monrose?
I mean, we could talk about the Queen, but
No, it's whatever you want to talk about. It's Freestyle Friday.
Freestyle Thursday.
Thursday. I don't know why I keep saying Friday.
Oh, okay. Well, a couple of things. Good evening to all of you.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is Pastor Monrose, Gifford Monrose, one of the persons who were the original starter of the God Squad.
Yes, correct.
Here in Brooklyn. Then he went on to the bar president's office. Now he's at the mayor's office. So that's awesome.
Yeah, hopefully that's the last office, right?
Now you're still a young man. You have ways to go.
I don't know about that yet, Pastor.
Right. Good to hear from you, sir. So we went to visit a major church today in Queens, Evangelical Church, and I wanted to talk about the migrants coming in from Texas.
Okay,
so that people
good point.
can have a good view as to what is happening. Because normally in America, when we were talking about immigration reform, they weren't really talking about black immigration reform. When I say black immigration reform or black immigration, what I mean, or immigrants, what I mean is people were coming into the United States, on a visa, and they were still on the visa, people from the Caribbean, from the African region. That is a different type of conversation. We were talking about immigration when it comes from individuals coming over from Mexico. We know that Cuba have a different type of deal when it comes to immigrants coming into, or migrants coming into the United States, than people from Haiti, for instance. So there was some really different in terms of nuances and the way that America treated immigrants coming into America. So now, in this new wave of migrants that we have, and the issue that we have in the city, is that the people who are coming in, the Venezuelans, they are asylum seekers, meaning that they are special category coming into the United States. They're coming from different places, and they've been on the road for a long time. Been walking through like Ecuador, coming up to the border, trying to get to Texas, and then when they get to Texas, the governor of Texas have decided they're going to bus those individuals to New York City. That poses a couple of problems for us. Number one, most of the Venezuelan, their community is really in Texas or Florida, not really in New York City. So when they come, they don't have family. And then the second piece to this is that, we are right to shelter state or city, meaning that anyone who is in need of shelter, the city must provide shelter for them. And what I wanted to just share with the listeners is that what we need is the compassion of our faith community to stand up and to really step forward, just to say that, listen, we are going to support not only the city, but these family members who are coming with nothing but maybe a bag on the back, coming into the U.S., coming into America, being driven on a bus, coming all the way to New York, don't know where they're going. And
Hey, Pastor, you know what? Best way to deal with that?
Mm-hmm.
like in New York City, like they tried to make those immigrants and migrants voters in civil election in city elections.
Right.
Let them. That's what something we should advocate for. You know,
Why?
although it's on appeal,
Why?
because they will be able to impact decisions on local races, those city races, city council races, those judge races, all those local races, those migrants, as we wanted those immigrants to have a say. Put it this way, in our liberal cities, as they always talk, they want to send them to these sanctuary cities, bring them to sanctuary cities. But what these sanctuary cities ought to do is, you know what? Let's make them vote in these these lower level local elections. You see how quick the tide will change.
That is something the
Yeah, I have I have a friend. Two things. One, I think that America, the media and America highlights itself as the place of ultimate freedom. Hi, Council Member Narcisse. How you doing? Thank you for joining us.
What's up, big sis?
Right?
You're not younger sis, you're the older sister.
She's younger than you. Stop it.
No, she's not.
All right. And hi, Janice. How you doing? So going back to what the media and America portrays itself at, because it's not just America, but the Mercedes. I'm looking at Mercedes comment to you, and I called her name. And the reality of the situation is that America is struggling. When you come to America, it's not a land of bed and roses. It's not a land of gold. It's very difficult. So, and sometimes you're actually better off in your country, but how the media and America portrays itself, you see that when you come here, it's great, right? It's a great life. What I believe that America needs to open up and allow more visas for people to come in and visit the United States and actually see what it is like to be here, to see the struggle. If you like certain professionals, if you leave your country, come here, certain professional, you cannot do those jobs here. You actually have to go back to school. I know people come in as accountants and they can't be, accountant, but you can't do the work. So America has to do a better job. And so all these migrants are coming over. Yes. Because of how America and the media portrays them. English is one of the few languages that I have gone in every single country that I've been. I've been to about 23 to 2, I don't remember, but somewhere between 23 and 30 countries I've gone to my lifetime. CNN is one station that's around the world. Think about it. You're from U.S. Virgin Island, Pastor. How many local U.S. Virgin Island stations are here in the United States?
Local news?
Yep.
None.
But you know exactly what's happening in the United States whenever you travel around the world. The commercials, the this, the that, buying a home, doing this, the thing. So I think America has to work on that first. But now we have an immediate problem, which are the migrants. I actually have a friend which I want to introduce you to, Denise Wright Scott, who's looking at a place that the mayor can use for help with the migrants, right, and their families, and especially for young people. Very large. Denise, right?
Did they reach out to me?
I was trying to reach out to you, but I'll do it off here. I'll send you a text message off here to make that connection,
cool.
Right? And to meet with the immigration person at the person dealing with immigration at the mayor's office, or even through you. And let's try to see that done. But I made that connection. America has to do something with Texas, because you can't just dump people like they're garbage and say you want them, you're sanctuary city, you need to take them. So it's twofold. If you want to portray America as the place to be, open up America so people can come. Or people are not rushing to England. I mean, not England. They're not rushing to Spain. They're not running to Pakistan. They're not running to African countries. Why? Because the media portrayed these places as places that you don't want to go, places you don't want to be part of, right? And so at the end of the day, you need to open up the country or change the media perspective of what America is, and stop dumping people all around and say, oh, San Francisco, New York, right? It's an economic burden. Some places, these hotels cost thousands of dollars a week plus food.
Right.
And while you're trying to get here legally, you can't even get here. So, think about that when you think about that for a moment. So,
sure, there's a lot of things to think about.
Yeah.
It's a two-pronged approach. It's a long-term situation which we're dealing with, of course, the overtax burden on the current homelessness infrastructure. We have to think about what we want to do and become as a nation. We have to figure out on a national level, how do you have Democrats in power in the White House being in charge of ICE and Homeland Security, and can allow a Republican governor to be able to destabilize just the process of how immigrants should be treated in America. So there's a lot of different aspects that we need to look at this. It's bringing to bear too as well the fight down the middle that we see when
Pastor, please hold. Caller, you're live. Please hold. Oh, they hung up. Caller, you can call back. My apologies. Yes.
So for us is that it's going to be drawn in lines in terms of red states or blue states. And what we've seen is that red states individuals are punishing more or less blue states because of local politics becoming national politics. I think that they would say that all politics are local, but I think that in this sense, the local politics is becoming national now. I think it's being switched that you can take a local issue like migrants coming into Texas, and now there's a new way. Some genius got together and said, why don't we then bust all of those individuals up to the blue states and let them take care of the people that they want to welcome into the United States of America. And we need to have a response to that on a national level,
right,
at the White House, and from a congressional level too as well. Not only just on a mayoral level or state or city level, but also from a national level too. I'm thinking, looking at the situation.
Before I forget, just to make sure that everyone knows that we're brought to you by the Single Parent University. We still have open admissions, course curriculum, helping you with personal development, mindful parenting, support seminars, and financial development. So please do reach out, 646-779-6767. They offer, they offer free childcare session, transportation, social support hub, resume and cover letter writing, career exploration, legal assistance. One of the things talking about a single parent university is that you're going to have a lot of displaced families, right? So you're going to have a lot of single parents, single children by themselves who are going to need help. I mean, my brother, he brought up another, Andre, pull that down. Another issue with migrants, Pastor, is that you have ENL, the ENL population of schools have increased since this wave, right, of migrants, right?
Oh, well, it's two ways now. There are some schools who want migrants.
Yeah, but that's true. But they're not. They at some point in the school year, though, right? When they do you don't get the funding. You don't get the funding, nor are those students' need getting met, right? Because if you don't have the right teachers in place, yes, or if you do it early enough, you might get the funding. But if you don't have the teachers in place and the necessary component to educate those children, they're going to suffer. Especially when you go into one school district. But you were saying about the schools. Yeah, schools want them because of funding, but they might not be able to get their needs. Are you there, caller?
Yeah. Oh, sure. I mean, we could take some calls.
No, I'm saying I'm talking to you. I'm listening to you.
I'm here. No, that's understood. I can't comment on how schools are going to do that. I don't know the ins and outs. You know, I had Chancellor Banks on my clergy call yesterday with about 220 faith leaders from across the city, trying to get a handle on what's happening with education, what's happening with the influx of migrants coming into the school system. But I think that my overall message is that the faith community is here. We're willing, we're able, we are pulling together really good houses of worship across the city who is going to adopt shelters, adopt schools, and really support as much as we can around this issue. This is an opportunity for us to shine. And I am very delighted to be helping out on that sense.
And we appreciate that, especially from the clergy component and what the mayor is doing in order to try to, and he's not turning them away. He's like, I'm willing to accept these people, these migrants, and see what we can do to support them and support their families. So, you know, just tell Mayor Adams that the community stands with him to support our migrants, but we also need for him to reach out to America to help people. And, you know, somebody came up to come visit a person, and when they came up, they had the U.S. Customs torturing them with a legal visa. Right. While at the other end, you're letting thousands of people in who seeking asylum or whatever the case is, and they're here, and you send them to New York and say, hey, you're free to go.
Well, Roger, they don't want the system. They don't want that system fixed. They do not want that immigration system fixed. Simple policies that could be implemented could change the whole dynamics. But this is a hot potato nobody wants to address.
You know, and you know, and so I guess, you know, at the mayoral level, the city level, you can't address it because you can't address it because you're not a federal, right? And that's that.
I will smile.
The other thing that Jennifer says, we also begun to see a rise in ACS cases involving migrants. Why? I don't understand. Well, have you seen that, Pastor? A rise in ACS cases involving migrants?
No, we haven't seen it yet, but that is something we probably will take a look at, but we haven't seen that, no.
So Jennifer Joseph wrote that. So there's something. So the two things to bring back when you speak to the chancellor is getting teachers, because there's a hiring freeze. So you're going to have to get teachers to address migrant individuals, because to hit the language and to be taught in their language of bilingual teachers. So creating funding for that. And two, providing more social workers and access to social workers in schools. So make sure you get the ear to talk about that, and also try to get him on the air. We need, a lot of parents are looking for him. And Jennifer, do you know who Jennifer Joseph is?
Of course, that's my girl.
Yeah, she said, Pastor, let us talk tomorrow.
Okay, good. Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
we'll do. Thanks again.
So she'll reach out. And thank you, Pastor.
Smiling, Jennifer.
I don't know why you're smiling, but I'll connect you with that young lady. Probably send you her contact, or I could do either. Send you hers or send hers yours, whichever one you prefer.
Whatever you want to do. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Pastor.
Thank you, Pastor.
Wait. What is your new title now? What is your new title?
So I am the executive director of the Office of Faith-Based and Community Partnerships, and I serve as the faith advisor to the mayor of New York City.
Okay, all right. Executive director, faith-based. I like that. So you're the big dog now.
No, I'm a simple preacher from Brooklyn.
Mount Sinai, 7 Day.
Pastor.
I'd simple pastor from Mount Sinai. God bless.
Yes,
Enjoy.
Pastor from Moses. Very simple.
Yes.
Thank you for all, man. Bless
You know, I forgot. I was hanging out with the Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett.
Yeah.
A couple of times from your neck of the woods.
Sure. Good.
You know what? You know why I like her better? Because
she's from Brooklyn.
She's from Brooklyn. You came into Brooklyn. She
was born in Brooklyn.
Yeah, she was born in Brooklyn. Look at that. Look at that, Pastor. Jennifer wrote, I would love to see him elected to the city council.
Who you?
No, you, not me. Jennifer's not talking about me elected to no city council. She's talking about you.
Oh, she's talking about me.
Yeah, she's talking about you.
Oh, I'm flattered that somebody thinks that I'll do good as an elected official. That's good. I haven't heard that in a while. Well, good stuff.
Okay.
Thank her for me, please. I appreciate her.
All right.
Confidence in me.
She can hear you. She can hear you. Yeah.
Oh,
all right.
Good.
Yeah, she can.
All right.
That's what she's responding to you. Thank you, Pastor. Have a great evening.
All right. Blessings.
Bye-bye. So, you know, I didn't even think about that. And while we're talking about migrants, you think about Donald Trump. Donald Trump said if they indict him, right, America will be in trouble. Right? If they indict him, America will. What do you think about that, John? You think that is his way of saying that he's guilty?
No. Come on, Trump guilty? Are you kidding me?
No, but I'm just saying, is that his way of saying that he's guilty, and therefore he's putting out that threat out there to say to people, don't arrest me. Don't come after me, because if you come after me, you're gonna have world war, you're gonna have a civil war in the United States, which you might.
But you might, you ain't lying about that.
Huh? You just might, because people are stupid, right? They're going crazy over a man who has done great harm to what America is supposed to be about, right? The land of the free. And like they said, there's nothing free about America, you know? So I'm curious, John. I'm actually very curious to know what's the next step for the American people. Right? What is the next step? What do you think for Donald Trump? You think he's going to jail, or what do you think?
Who cares about Donald Trump, man?
America cares. You know, it's funny.
America doesn't care about
America.
Donald Trump.
You're lying. Okay. You are lying. You are so.
Y'all are just jimmying up those Trumpers. That's what y'all. That's it. And
that's not true.
Man, everyday New Yorkers don't care.
But just doing the regular thing now.
Man, they don't care.
You don't think America cares about Donald Trump?
You don't care. He's not president. Yeah. He's not president. Why are we concerned about he's not president?
Well, all right. So let's take your comments. Let's hear from the people. All right, we're listening.
Why do you care so much about it?
I think the idea of him being a former president of the United States of America, and I just spoke about it just now, the land of the free, the land of opportunity, the land of what we would consider to be greatness, is overshadowed by a president who has brought so much negative look to our country, which I'm a proud part of. Caller, you're live.
Yes, Roderick. I'm just tuning into your radio station. Brother Paul in the building.
Hey, Brother Paul, what's going on? I wish I owned a radio station, but I thank you for wishing that on to me, to own a radio station, right? But yes, you're. So what topic? So we just asked a question. Well, let's find out what is your topic that you want to talk about.
No, I just want to hear what's going on.
So
I don't know what we're talking about now, so I might be a little lost. Maybe
no, it's okay. So here's the question. John
Do
says,
you care about Donald Trump?
do you care about Donald Trump? That's the question. Do you care about what's happening with Donald Trump right now?
No, not really.
Do you follow it at all?
Repeat?
Do you follow it at all?
No, I don't follow it.
Why not? Why or why not?
Because he's not the president any longer.
Now,
He doesn't do anything that impacts us.
is that your
I
reason?
just don't listen to it because I'm not interested in it. I'm not interested in it. I
Okay.
just figure, I mean, he's not the president. He is just, whatever you call it, was a president. And
That's all it was. It's
That's
just the
it.
media. The media is just using it to just, that's all it is. Look at CNN's ratings. CNN ratings is last. You know, during the Trump presidency, I mean, their ratings, at least they were in second. They are last now. That's why they changed up the whole lineup now. You got Poppy Harlow, you got another individual, you got Don Lemon, you know, Berman and the other young lady. They're being moved around. And the bottom line is people want news. What's going on? I'm tired of Trump. I'm just tired of hearing about Donald Trump because Donald Trump really has no impact on us. But the media wants to jimmy him up, you know, make him the boogeyman. You know, we're worried about interest rates at 6%. You know, thank God gas has come down. You know, we still got, thank goodness that President Biden was able to help divert that potential strike that would have destroyed the supply chain. So let's be more concerned about things like that instead of Donald Trump, whether he's going to get subpoenaed. You know what? The Attorney General is going to do what she's going to do. You know, and that's it. She's handling her business. The district attorney in Manhattan, they're handling their business with respect to the Trump and the Trump organizations. Donald Trump is no longer the president. No impact on us whatsoever.
Okay, interesting. So, where are you in the world now, Brother Paul?
well, I'm in Brooklyn right now.
Oh,
I come back.
yeah,
Tired.
Brother Paul is a very traveling man. By the way, in your line of work, have you seen? Would you say that COVID is stable, up or down?
I think it's down.
I
think it's down because, I mean, and I think they're wasting federal money, but hey, I'm just getting paid from it, so why complain?
It's paying your bills, so you don't want to bite your. What is it? What's
Yeah,
it, something to cut off your nose to spite your face, right? Something like that.
Right, because I mean, I go and I pick up all these vaccines and stuff, and I drive, and it's a 12-hour shift, and I sit for 5 hours, you know, and the nurses outside, and we talking, and for the whole 5 hours, they probably 2 people come and get shot, and then the rest of vaccine, you know, the pharmacy won't take it back, so we just have to waste it, like just throw it in the garbage.
Wow, I didn't know that. Have you? I mean, well, you don't really give the vaccine, but what kind of complaints have you received about the vaccine from people that actually took it? That actually took it. Not people who come to you and tell you something that actually took it. Have you seen any complaints?
No.
No.
I took it and I didn't have any complaint. Just the first, it was a little bit, and second, I was okay.
Okay, because a lot of people are complaining about that these are the side effects, but I'm just wondering for people who have taken it, not people who have not, you know, because you know that was just that. Anything else you want to talk about?
No.
When we're playing dominoes, you playing dominoes later?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go right now. Take my time and drive over there. I can't take no more red light ticket, speed camera. Ticket,
That's a different subject. You don't get John and I started about those speed camera and the regressive tax on our community. My wife has threatened me about paying the tickets. It's funny. I got one going 36, John. Remember I was telling you, I don't know if I told you how they situate some of these cameras. This light is red, this one is green. So you try to get to the red, you get to the green, and then boom, they already know that if you drive a certain amount of speed, they're gonna catch you. And that's what happened to me on my block. Anyway, Brother Paul, thank you for calling. If I'm out playing dominoes, I'll catch you later.
Okay.
All right,
Regular spot.
All right. God bless.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. All right. Your gas price is not too bad anymore.
No,
but you know what?
Gas prices are where they were at.
But why is it so expensive in so many places?
Listen. Yeah.
Right.
That crap after the election,
Mhm.
why the politicians should care? They got your votes.
That's true.
So,
Gone back.
Stuff gonna shoot up. That
Pastor Busby agrees with me that there might be a war. All right. You heard me, John. Look up. Yes, we will have a war. That's based upon what's going on with Donald Trump, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And that's one of the divergence of war that we might have.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
We have a couple more minutes left. If you just looking at it, make sure that you call in. Right. So now I agree with the Republican governors to call on Biden to withdraw student loan forgiveness plan immediately. I agree with the Republicans. I think it's just too much of a burden on the United States unless they come back with a plan that obligates people who have loan forgiveness to a certain level of commitment at low wage jobs or whatever the case is, that such as, whatever the low wage job is, to help out the community service, not for profit, whatever the case is in America, to help individuals, right? So the burden on, so basically, 22 governors, including Florida, we don't care about Florida and Texas, but they're opposing this plan to cancel student loan debt, telling him to withdraw it immediately. The joint letter sent Monday, spearheaded by Iowa's Kim Reynolds, stated Biden's plan of $10,000 on debt forgiveness would add $600,000 to Iowans alone, and then obviously the expected cost would be close to $1 trillion in additional debt to the United States, right? So I agree with that. R. Kelly, he got convicted, John, of a couple more charges.
It's just the R. Kelly, man. It's just enough already, man. It's just like, you gave him 30 years. You're going to trial for another case. Going to trial for this case. I mean,
so what is it that you want him to do?
The bottom line is the guy's he's in jail for the next 30 years. R. Kelly's he's in his 50s?
55.
He's 55, man. He won't see the light of day until a man's 80 years old. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder, is it 30 years without parole or parole after 15?
No. You get 30 years with the feds. You got to do 85% of that time. So 85%.
That's about 27 years, right?
Yeah.
I'm not doing the math,
80, whatever it is.
90% is 27. So 85, probably about 26, 27.
Yeah. So he's gonna have to do at least another 25 years. He'll be 80 years old, man. The guy more than likely might die in prison. So they just, to the point where, you know what? I won't be surprised if I won't be surprised if he takes his life one day. I really won't. I won't be surprised.
Why you say that?
Because you're just getting constantly hit on the head, hit over the head.
Because you realize that the end of the day is near. I wonder if he has children. I'm just wondering. Look, Andres, if he has children. Yeah. Dr. Budafly, whenever you're ready to play dominoes, we'll work on it. I'll see it. We could play dominoes because he has 3 children. Right. Whenever you're ready to play dominoes, we're good to go. Okay. I'm here. I'm more than willing to work with you. Just got to get me one other person. So I have a domino match. I have a domino match this weekend, John.
Really?
So yeah, actually I have 2. I'm only gonna participate in one. Right? I'm only gonna participate in one. Guys, you were awesome today. The villagers.
Thank you.
All right. You were awesome today. You called in. You participated. I wasn't here alone. You got John to talk. So we're good to go, John.
Good to go,
And
villagers.
Sophia, you still celebrating your birthday? I know.
Sophia, happy birthday.
Yeah,
Dr. Bryant, have a great date with tomorrow. I know it will be a fabulous, fabulous date tomorrow.
You know, oh, by the way, I'm inviting all of you. As you know, I've made mention since I became chair of the board. So anybody who lives in the community board 17 area, please come out and have conversations about things that are affecting you. People have been calling me, talking about it. We will have NYPD there to ask some questions. We have the mayor's office. We have the district attorney's office. All of these different offices out there. So it's going to be at downstate.
I'm looking up Mo.
Right. Right.
Sophia, happy birthday, Mo.
Right.
Always remember,
Mo, you didn't say
continue your
anything
faith.
today. Mo, you
Mo
didn't.
had a troubling couple of days. You know, she did a favor.
Oh,
for
wait, downstate. Just to remind you.
and
Yes.
downstate. She did a favor for a young man to help him out and took advantage of the situation. And
Don't you hate that?
Yeah, and I think that's what bothered Mo the most. But Mo, everything's going to work out for you. Angela, I ain't hear nothing from you tonight. Well, to all villagers, God bless you. Sophia, happy birthday once again. To all the villagers, see you next week.
You know, God bless and thank you so much where you're watching, listening, sharing, viewing The Village. Please do subscribe to our channel at the Village Radio Talk Show. Join me, and if you haven't become a friend on Instagram, please do join me on Instagram, which is, what's my Instagram page? Roderick Daly. Was it Roderick Daly underscore? Okay, Rod F Daly underscore The Village. So just join me on Instagram, and join John. John, you on Instagram? No, you're not on Instagram. All right, and I'll join us on Facebook. Send us a Facebook like, and let us know. Share our message. God bless each and every one of you. We'll see you next week, God's willing. God be blessed.